The Green Revolution is turning the West into an economic colony of China and a rogues gallery of dictators from all over the world. Recently, the Wall Street Journal reported that the green energy push is forcing the US and Europe into a dependent relationship with authoritarian regimes that makes OPEC look like an amateur. This could effectively hand, especially the BRICS group of anti-dollar countries, a natural resources veto on America, indeed on the entire West. The problem is that the key ingredients in green tech are all dug out of the ground. Dug out with the kind of carbon footprints that send our ruling left-wing activists into panic attacks. Cobalt, nickel, lithium, and copper are what batteries are made of. And without batteries, an electric vehicle, windmill, or solar field is a very expensive paperweight. To give a sense of the problem, Saudi Arabia accounts for 12% of global oil production, and OPEC as a whole is 38%. Throw in Russia, and it's close to half. Meanwhile, in nickel, just two countries, Indonesia and Russia, make up 27% of global production. For lithium, new BRICS member Argentina and Chile account for 43% of global production. For cobalt, again, two countries, Indonesia and Congo, make up 51% of global production. Downstream, where the raw materials are refined for actual use, it's even worse. China alone refines 42% of the world's copper, 65% of its lithium, 70% of the world's cobalt. China has already weaponized rare earths, and it is eager for more. Note that thanks to trillion-dollar green subsidies, they are green dollars as well, demand for these critical materials is expected to soar 23-fold in the next 12 years. For a sense of perspective, it takes 15 years to stand up a copper mine in the US if you can get it permitted. So how did things get so bad? Because for decades, America and Europe have chased out mining and refining, sending it overseas where those carbon footprints are out of sight and out of mind. So they can pretend it doesn't exist and brag about their clean economies and impressive footprints. Of course, refining cobalt in China or digging it up in Congo are just as dirty as doing it in the US or Europe, quite likely dirtier, but optics are everything when it comes to being green. The problem comes in because we are potentially handing a dozen OPECs to countries that don't particularly like us very much. China already holds a virtual materials veto over parts of the American economy, and forcing more of our industrial base and energy production into green technologies that depend on China's good graces is a recipe for becoming dependent on a country that is already actively hostile. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained. What's next is it gets worse. Both America and Europe are doubling down on the unicorn fart utopias, chasing out what remains of not just mining and refining, but the manufacturing that remains a stain on their virtuous carbon footprints. I did a recent video on Germany deindustrializing, and it is happening across the West, including here in America, where the United Auto Workers are currently striking specifically because green mandates are sending production to China, where it will become yet another leverage point for the dictators in Beijing. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.